Ever feel like your emotions are kind of, I don't know, running the show a little too much?
It's true. They can definitely have a mind of their own, can't they?
It's like we all have feelings, that's a given, right? But to actually understand them,
Right.
that's next level stuff.
Absolutely. It's like having a superpower, being able to decode those feelings, yours and other people's.
That's exactly what we're diving into today, figuring out how to unlock that superpower. Like, imagine having a cheat sheet to your own feelings. How cool would that be?
Game changer, for sure. Not just for you, but for how you connect with everyone around you, too.
Totally. So in this deep dive, we're basically signing up for Emotion Fluency 101.
Exactly. And our textbook for this journey is this super interesting Wikiversity resource all about recognizing emotions.
Okay, love it. Where do we even begin with something like this?
Well, every language has its basics, right? The building blocks. Emotions are the same way.
Okay, so like, what are the emotional ABCs we're talking about here?
That's where the work of this psychologist, Paul Ekman, comes in. He spent his whole career trying to figure out if emotions were universal.
Interesting. So like, did he travel the world or something?
He did. He traveled all over, studying facial expressions in tons of different cultures.
Wow, that's dedication. So what did he find? Was there like a universal language of feelings?
That's the thing. He found that there are 7 core emotions, so deeply rooted in us that they're recognized everywhere, no matter where you come from.
7 emotions that connect us globally. Okay, now I'm really curious. What are they, these emotional VIPs?
All right, drum roll, please. The 7 universal emotions are fear, sadness, anger, joy, surprise, disgust, and, this one's a little less obvious, contempt.
Interesting. So those are like the foundation of our emotional experience, the starting point.
Exactly. They're kind of a big deal.
I can see that. Just hearing you say those words, I bet everyone listening is picturing what those emotions look like, right?
Right. Think about it. If you see a terrified face, it doesn't matter what language someone speaks, you just get it.
It's true. You just know. It's like our brains are hardwired for this stuff.
Exactly. And it's not just facial expressions. Think about a time you were really scared, like you almost stepped on a snake or
Oh,
something.
don't even get me started. I can't, even with snakes.
Right. But that jolt you feel, that urge to run, that's your body speaking the language of fear.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. Okay, so we've got the basics down, the emotional ABCs. What's next? Do we start making words now, or
You got it.
that?
We're going to start building those emotional sentences because, trust me, it gets a lot more nuance from here.
Okay, bring on the nuance. I'm ready to expand my emotional vocabulary. So we've got our emotional ABCs down,
Yeah, we've got those basics.
but I'm guessing there's more to the story.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
definitely.
yeah.
It's like knowing the alphabet is great, but to really get fluent in a language,
You got to put those letters together.
exactly. Got to make some words, some sentences.
So where do we go from here? How do we level up our emotional vocabulary?
Well, there's this really cool book we're going to tap into for this part, Passion and Reason.
Passion and reason. Okay, I like the sound of that already.
It goes deep into these 15 distinct emotions, and some of them we often mix up.
15. Okay, now we're talking.
Right. Gets a little more complex than just happy, sad, angry.
Way more interesting, too. I'm all about those subtle shades of feeling we don't always have the words for.
Me too. And this book really breaks those down.
So give me an example. What's one of those easily confused emotions?
Okay, how about this envy and jealousy?
Oh. Yeah, those two get thrown around a lot. What's the difference?
So imagine you're scrolling through social media and you see a friend who just got a brand new car.
Happens all the time. Ha ha.
So envy is that feeling of, ugh, I want that. It's about wanting something someone else has.
Okay, so when does jealousy come in?
Jealousy usually involves a third person. It's that feeling when you're afraid of losing something you already have.
Okay, so it's not just wanting what they have.
It's feeling threatened, like you might lose something.
That makes sense. Like if your best friend starts hanging out with someone new and you worry they'll replace you.
Exactly. That's jealousy in action.
Hmm.
It's subtle, but an important difference. And since we're on the topic of subtle differences,
Hit me.
how about guilt versus shame?
Ooh, another pair we tend to lump together.
Totally. So both of them come with this sense of like, I did something wrong. But guilt is more specific.
Specific how?
It's that, ugh, I messed up feeling, like forgetting someone's birthday or accidentally breaking something.
Oh, the then there.
Right. But shame. Shame goes deeper, you know.
Deeper how?
It's not just about the action. It's about feeling like you as a person are flawed. Like guilt says, I did something bad, and shame says, I am bad.
Wow. Yeah. That's a big difference.
It is. And recognizing that difference can be huge for self-compassion.
So true. It's okay to feel guilty about a mistake without thinking you're a bad person overall.
Exactly.
I love how specific we're getting with these emotions.
Right. It's like the more words we have for these feelings, the more power we have over them.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, so we've covered envy, jealousy, guilt, shame.
Right.
What else is on the list of emotions we should know about?
Okay, one more I want to get to, because it's a good one. Compassion.
Compassion. Okay, I definitely feel like I know that one when I feel it.
Right. It's like that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you see someone helping an older person cross the street.
Yes. Or like when you see a lost puppy and you just want to help.
Exactly. But compassion is more than just a warm feeling.
It is. It's rooted in this deep sense of empathy, being able to actually understand and share someone else's feelings.
So it's like not just feeling bad for them, but actually feeling with them.
You got it. And I get this, research has actually shown that compassion isn't just some fluffy feeling.
Really?
Yeah, people who cultivate compassion, they have better relationships, they're better at dealing with stress.
Wow. So compassion is good for you too.
It is.
Okay, so understanding these emotions, it's clearly important, but how do we actually use this information?
That's where things get really interesting.
Hmm.
And that's what our next section is all about.
Okay, you've officially piqued my interest. What's next? Okay, so how do we actually use this stuff? It's one thing to know the words, but how do we actually apply it?
Right, like how do we actually become fluent in emotion?
Exactly.
Well, there's this other book that takes a really fascinating approach.
Okay, hit me.
It's called The Cognitive Structure of Emotions. And it dives into how we categorize our emotions.
Okay, how so?
It's all about how we interpret situations and how that shapes how we feel.
Interesting. Okay, so give me an example. How could that play out in real life?
Let's say there's a promotion at work, right? And it's something you really want. But then a colleague, someone you consider a friend, they get it instead.
Oof, yeah, that's a tough one. Okay, so how does this book come in?
Well, think about your reaction. If you're genuinely happy for them, super excited for their success.
Then I'm probably feeling good, right?
Yeah, exactly. The book calls that happy for.
Makes sense.
But let's say you're a little, I don't know, bummed that it wasn't you.
Oh, 100%. I'd be lying if I said that wouldn't sting a little.
Right. And that's where the nuance comes in. That feeling you're having there, that could be resentment.
So it's the same event, someone getting a promotion,
Hmm.
but my interpretation of it changes the whole emotional game.
Exactly. And that's just one example. This book goes even deeper, like how we evaluate other people's actions.
Okay, interesting. So it's not just about how we see events, but how we judge other people's behavior.
Exactly. For instance, we usually just say, I disapprove when someone does something we don't like.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty standard response.
But think about it. Disapprove kind of covers a whole spectrum of feelings, doesn't it? Like, let's say you see someone being super rude to a waiter.
Ugh, the worst.
Right. Does disapprove really cover it?
It feels too mild, yeah.
Exactly. You're probably feeling something much stronger, like contempt.
Ooh, yeah, that tracks. It's like you think what they're doing is just wrong on a whole other level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So having these more specific words, it helps us understand our own reactions better, but it can also help us communicate more effectively.
Totally. Like if I can pinpoint whether I'm feeling disappointed or actually angry about something, that's huge for having a productive conversation, right?
Right. It's like this whole new level of emotional intelligence.
This is amazing. I'm feeling so much more equipped to deal with all the feels now.
Me too. And we're not done yet. There's one more expert I want to bring into the mix.
Okay, lay it on me.
So there's this concept of emotional families, and it comes from the work of Daniel Goleman, the emotional intelligence guy.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of him.
So his idea is that instead of thinking about emotions as these separate things, we should see them as interconnected.
Interesting. Like a family tree almost.
Exactly. So you've got, say, the anger family. And within that family, you've got anger, obviously.
Right.
But then you've also got like frustration, irritation, even that resentment we were talking about earlier.
So it's like recognizing the whole spectrum of that emotion, from mild annoyance to full-blown rage.
Exactly. And seeing these connections helps you notice patterns in your own reactions, which can help you manage those emotions better.
Oh, that's super helpful. I can see how that would be a game changer for like not letting little annoyances turn into major meltdown.
Exactly. It's all about understanding those patterns.
Wow, we covered so much ground today. We went from basic emotions to like this whole emotional encyclopedia.
Right. And honestly, we've only just scratched the surface.
But even just scratching the surface, I feel like this is such a great starting point. To all our listeners out there, take this knowledge and run with it. Your emotions are powerful, but the more you understand them, the more you can harness that power.
So well said. And remember, you don't have to be a walking emotion dictionary, but next time you're feeling off, try to pinpoint what's really going on. You might be surprised by what you discover.
And that's a wrap on today's deep dive into the fascinating world of emotions. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive into a new topic.